Hey everybody, we are back with a product demo today. What we have today is the RoadPro Lunchbox Oven. I'm a part of several groups about keto on Facebook, and I regularly get asked by people who have to travel for a living on how to cook and stay keto while they're out on the road. One of the first things I got as a trucker in order to cook in my truck was one of these. And essentially what it is a mini slow cooker that plugs in to the cigarette lighter outlet in your vehicle. And you don't have to have an inverter. You don't have to have any kind of other types of like 110 or outlets or anything like that in the truck. And you can run this and cook some pretty easy meals. Now, I'm gonna open it up. It's fairly simple construction. It gets about to 350 degrees. And when you plug it in, there's no temperature controls. It just heats up. The inside, we've used this one. Now the inside has this metal lining and your heating element is down below. It takes a while to get warm. What you want to do when you cook with it is you actually want to line it with something like aluminum foil to help keep it clean. The other thing that you can do is you can get these little metal trays. These are available through Amazon, through Walmart, all over the place, and they regularly sell them at truck stops as well. Thing is, at the truck stops, they're always more expensive. So the best places to go to get a deal is buying them in bulk through online sources such as Amazon or Walmart. And you can actually get a bunch of them for the same price you can get like 8 or 9 of them at the truck stop. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to use this in a very simple way. And today all we're going to do is make some bacon and eggs. So I have some butter here. It's going to go in the container here. It's right there, as you can see. And I'm just going to melt this butter. I'm going to close that up. And I have some bacon. Now, the thing with cooking the bacon in the lunchbox oven is you typically won't get it as crispy as you would doing it on a skillet, but you're going to cook it and you're going to have some nice bacon to have for breakfast without having to babysit anything and be able to do it from your lunchbox. Now, the cool thing about these trays too is if you are traveling and you're home regularly, or you have a small refrigeration unit in your vehicle, you could take these trays and you can set up all kinds of meals with them, and you can put them in the refrigerator or in the freezer and freeze them so that they're ready to go, that you can pop out, just put them in and go and let it cook. And you can cook them from, because it is a slow cooker, you can cook from frozen and to done just by pulling it out and slapping it in there and save yourself a lot of time. So to cook bacon, I learned a little trick when I was in the truck. Take a fork, take the backside of these little trays and start poking some holes. And these will be your grease draining holes. Allow the bacon grease to drain out and go to the base and collect away, which will help your bacon crisp up a bit. The other thing too is, in order to help it drain away, you need something to elevate the container up off the base. And you can take a little piece of aluminum foil, roll it up, and when you put these down in there, you set the tray on top, and it'll just give you a little bit of elevation to go ahead and make your bacon. Grab this. Okay, I'm just going to slice the bacon in half. And what we're going to do is just line the bacon down here in the tray, separate it out a little bit, and I cut it in half so it fits in here. You can kind of drop them in willy-nilly, haphazardly. Just try not to get them to touch each other that much. That way it doesn't stick together and you just get one big bacon clump, which may not be a bad thing as it seems. So that's about where we can put the bacon. Now, these do take a while to heat up, but I could already feel it getting warm. I'm gonna check my butter, and the butter is not starting to melt yet. So at this point, we'll probably go ahead and skip ahead and I'll go to the next section. Hey everyone, we are back. Our butter is melted right here. So we're gonna go ahead and put our bacon in, just like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and crack a couple eggs in the melted butter. Kind of reminds me of camping and making the bacon and eggs in a brown paper bag, which we'll have to do a video on when we can get a campfire going. So we're just gonna close it up, leave it in here for a while. Don't have to check it. When I used to do this, I would take off and I would dry for maybe about an hour. And I'd come back and my eggs and everything would be done. The eggs yolks would be done hard, but we could actually get everything done about 15 minutes to a half hour in the lunchbox oven. All right, everybody, so I will come back, show you what these things look like when they're done. Hey, everybody, we're back. We've had the eggs and the bacon going in the slow cooker in the lunchbox oven. Now, one thing I wanted to show you, if you're traveling, let's say you're staying in hotels, you can also buy this little device right here, which will allow you to plug it into, it's a little converter device. They sell them on Amazon, and sometimes you can find them at the truck stops. But it will allow you to plug the lunchbox into a into a regular wall outlet if you're staying in a hotel or something. That way you can cook in, or if you're going into an office building, or let's say you work in a warehouse or something like that, and you have a place where you can plug this in a wall and you want to bring it inside with you, you could definitely do that. And there's also other companies that make similar devices. There's a company called Hot Logic, and they make a similar device, but instead of having aluminum trays, you actually cook in Pyrex in the slow cooker, and they have various sizes, so you can actually do a fairly large meal or a more personal size. And the same thing too, if you buy the same size type Pyrexes, you could throw them in the fridge, the freezer, and then slow cook them as you go. I would be careful if you're using a Pyrex though, and throwing it on the heat, because if you don't allow the Pyrex to thaw first and get to a warmer temperature, the Pyrex could explode if you try to heat it, as one of my fellow trucking buddies who had a Hot Logic oven found out. So, whenever I cooked bacon and eggs in a brown paper bag, I never got a crisp red bacon. It was always a very soft bacon, but it was a done bacon and it still tasted good. So I'm gonna open this up, and I have my eggs on top. We're gonna go ahead and pull these out. I'm gonna get the spatula underneath here. Here we go. There we go. This probably isn't the most beautiful breakfast you could have, but you know what? You're gonna have food that's gonna taste good and be easily to cook when you're on the go. So, there you go. We have our eggs and bacon. I'll throw a little salt and pepper on there. It'll be fantastic to have. And I'm gonna unplug this before I lift it up. But we also have our lunchbox oven, which now stayed fairly clean by having an aluminum foil. That's a great trick to do, is have the aluminum foil under it. Another trick you could do with the lunchbox oven is if you're cooking something like a small roast or some meatballs or some sort of meat and vegetable in one of these trays, you can put the aluminum foil down, put some water in there, and then put the tray above the water and create a water bath, and you'll keep the meat nice and juicy, and it'll actually cook a little bit faster. All right, everybody, see you on the next video.